Welcome to Good Morning Football, presented by Intuit QuickBooks. We are live in New York. Highlights from last night's game to wrap up Week 13. Speaking of rapping.
Oh, I forgot about that.
What about it?
We're rapping later on today.
We used to do this awesome thing on our show, Schrags, where we would rap teams that we just felt like aren't going to make any waves in the
But by rap,
season.
you mean?
We're going to wrap them up by
R-A-P,
rapping.
not W.
Yeah.
We're going to rap by rapping.
Gotcha.
If you've been eliminated
don't
from the
judge
playoffs and your team and your fan at home, you're in for a treat.
And there are like 6 teams, I think, that
6
are
teams have been eliminated. 4 are going to get the treatment today.
Dunzo.
Not a lot of things rhyme with Detroit, believe me.
Stay tuned for that. How about Bengals?
I got nothing.
What?
Engels.
Cincinnati? Oh,
A
boy.
90-degree angle.
It's time for the lead block. You're waking up right now and you're like, what happened last night? Maybe you're in your pajamas. Driving to the game, Tyler Lockett and David Moore showed up wearing Maple Leafs.
Representing
That's
Canada.
what you have. You sleep in those Canadian pajamas. You're Canadian adjacent.
We need a deeper dive. Why Canada, though?
I don't know.
Maple Leafs or Maple Leaves?
Leaves. I believe it's
right?
leaves. The
All
hockey
right, take us away.
Leaves. Who knows? Peter, give us a Toronto Maple Leaf. Any of them, all time.
Ty Domi.
Talk about it. Kirk Cousins played really well lately. Russell Wilson, both of them. In a year where everybody's the MVP, these two both had their name in the conversation. But watch this play. Doink, 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 6. It got deflected. Russ tried to swat it down as the etiquette. Coach Karai, talk about it, side out. Pete Maverick Mitchell, whoever you want. Anthony Edwards has to wear a T-shirt because he wasn't buff enough. But Dalvin Cook goes down and fumbles, and he stays down. Dalvin Cook left the game, didn't return. Obviously a huge injury. Tom Pelissero had a clavicle injury, not expected to be serious. Dalvin said, I'll be ready to go. Now, a bunch of the Seahawks missed practice all week because they had the flu, including David Moore, who gets away. David Moore said, on Thanksgiving, I said, screw this. I couldn't eat my mom's food. I felt bad for her. He says he lost 10 pounds, and then he does a new edition dance. That's cardio.
Oh, yeah, that's cardio right there. And they got the choreography down.
Xavier Rhodes.
Oh!
Obviously, something happened in the secondary there. He was primary, though, and looked very angry. Now, Kirk Cousins. 2nd and 10, down 10. Guys is picked off by Trey Flowers. He also had the flu. Said afterwards in the game to ESPN, Thanksgiving, it was one plate for me. It was bad. My mom's here now, though. She's cooking, so I'm going to get it all back. They're all thinking about their mother and their food.
sick.
It was. It really was, Nate. And so were the Seahawks most of the week. Rashad Penny, more like Rashad Dollar. Hey, he gets in again. He's got it going on. And so does Kirk Cousins, though. This is Cousins to Rudolph. They're down big there, but they cut it to 1 score. And then after some weird mistakes, they get 1 chance on 4th and 3. Kirk Cousins down 4. Goes to Arch Smith Jr. Incomplete. Ball game. They were going to have 1 more shot, but the Vikings fumbled on the kickoff, rather. Not the cook-off. That's Thanksgiving. Pete Carroll, you're 10-2, my friend. Somehow the eldest coach in the league is still the youngest acting, and he's 37-30. Seahawks look the hell out. Now, I mentioned David Moore.
Yes.
Felt terrible he couldn't eat his mother's food, but he made the biggest play of the game for the Seahawks. And, of course, Tom Pelissero caught up with him after the game about that massive touchdown and doing the new edition dance in the end zone. Go ahead, Tom.
The whole time, coach is just telling us that we were going to have to beat them with our speed, and we were going to have to do some other stuff that they don't like to do. And going inside was one thing that they don't like to cover. So just win with speed, get inside of them, and just take the top off and go get a touchdown. The celebration, that was something that we've been practicing, man. We love old school. We love just having fun. And new edition was the plan tonight, so that's why we had to do it.
Oh, it's Monday night, baby. We got that dub at the crib. Y'all know what time it is. 10-2. I don't know what we ranked at now. We'll talk about it. Oh,
Jadeveon Clowney was asked earlier in the week if he knew that this team was that good, and he said, I knew Russell Wilson was that good.
Yeah.
He didn't know about our team, but there they are at 10-2. With that win, the Seahawks move into first place in the NFC West, number 2 overall in the NFC. The Vikings still have the final wild card spot. They're 1 game up on the Rams. So which team on this playoff picture, Schrags, do you think has the potential to switch columns? Wild card, in the hunt, division leaders.
Fascinated by the top team in the middle column, the San Francisco 49ers. They're coming off a game where we said, you know what? They played as well as you possibly could in a loss, and they gave it their all to the Ravens. And yet now they're no longer the number 1 seed in the NFC West. They're no longer the number 1 seed in the NFC. If the playoffs were to start today, they'd be actually on the road in Dallas playing in the wild card round. And it doesn't get any easier for the 49ers. They now have to go travel to New Orleans. And I look at that game, and you're going into a buzzsaw because the Superdome is going to be bumping. They're going to be excited. And you look at these 2 teams in that NFC West. Seahawks travel to LA. They've already beaten them once at home. They go to Carolina. That team is not what they were. Arizona. not a lot harder for the Seahawks than it is for the 49ers. So I not only wonder about that middle column, I wonder if they can then maybe possibly even get bumped to the third column.
What?
Out of the play. Like, 49ers, they've got to be feeling good. I would say this. They get Matt Breida back. They get Dee Ford back. They get Joe Staley back. That's the hope for this New Orleans Saints game. But if you're a Niners fan, you woke up last Monday morning feeling like we're the kings of the world. We just beat the Green Bay Packers in a fashion that was on national TV. We're crying. This is how fast the NFL moves. Now you're no longer the division leaders. You don't have a home playoff game. And if you lose to the Saints, suddenly that door creaks open for a Rams team that it's surging now after their win. So 49ers, an incredible fork in the road for them this week. They go up against the Saints. After what we felt was a good loss to the Ravens, you realize there are no good losses. You lose 2 straight to the Saints. We could be talking about the Niners as maybe even on the outside looking in. Fascinating team right now to watch.
Are they staying east?
They are. They're staying in Florida this week.
I always love this
it's
move.
one of these deals. They're in Bradenton, Florida. They're going to try to get their steps set here so they don't have to travel back and forth.
Because Shanahan's been vocal. He doesn't like it. He doesn't like the traveling back and forth.
He likes sleeping in his own bed.
Yeah.
But you know what? If you lose another game, you're going to be on the playoffs for 3 straight weeks also if you're going to do anything. Maybe it's a good test to see how they can do on the road.
I'm looking at the Los Angeles Rams. They're sitting right on the outside at 7-5. And for me, it's not about the season leading up to this point. It's about the season from here moving forward. I feel like Jared Goff, for as much as he's been criticized, and rightfully so, you get paid that much money, over $100 million, and then you have games where you clearly can point to one guy and say, Jared Goff, you can wear this one because you didn't play well enough, especially how much money is being direct deposited into your account. But on Sunday, it's a whole different conversation. You know, I say it all the time. I said it earlier in the show. He can rewrite the narrative of this season. Let's just say Jared Goff. He goes out and has an unbelievable December, and he beats the Hawks, Cowboys, 49ers, and finishes off with the Cardinals. All winnable games. I mean, not unbelievably hard. Can he be the new Mr. December? You remember how we love throwing around that title to guys who ball out in a month that matters? If he just runs the table, and all of a sudden we're looking at these guys at 11-5, and Jared Goff playing at top-tier football, 0 interceptions, 350-plus yards each game, Todd Gurley gets cooking. Who cares about what happened?
He can do that against Seattle, those teams you just listed, Seattle and San Francisco?
He's done it.
Thursday, he goes,
A street
we
fight.
had Thanksgiving off.
I know what Russ
Every
is gonna
player
do.
had
I
Thanksgiving
know.
off. So
I
what we
don't
did
know
was we
what
watched the
Garoppolo's gonna
Cowboys
do.
lose.
I'm not
we know
sure
the
what
door
Kirk
is open.
Cousins is
You
gonna
know,
do.
we could see
Jared
where
this is
Goff,
going.
I'm not
and then
sure
you go
what
out
he's gonna
Sunday and
do.
you
Like,
lose to the
give
Dolphins.
me the
So it's
sure
like,
battle-tested
you know
dude
what
who's
the
a Super
story
Bowl
is, and yet you
MVP
still
peaking
can't
at the
stop.
right time. I
You know,
picked
Patrick
Seattle to start
Laird
the season.
and
I'll ride with them.
Gaskins
I don't
and
think
these
they're
guys
moving.
running
They
all
got
over
it.
you. Like,
Pick
it's
Seattle
hard for me to
start the
rally
season.
around
I'll
the
ride
Eagles
with
right
them.
now because
Can you rally around Dallas, though? I mean, I can't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Fair.
Washington has the most momentum of anybody. It's just crazy.
I will never try to be that dude that's dismissive or disrespectful to guys' talent to say, oh, these guys are bums, they suck. I wouldn't do that. I'm
No,
part of the
you don't
fraternity.
do that. Come on.
But watching them lose that game on Sunday, Peter, that was ridiculous. I mean, we were talking in the group chat and you said, oh, just talk to Brandon Graham. And I'm like, okay, that's a leader. That's a vet. That's a guy who's been there, done that. This team has to be ready, right? Bro, it's the first game of December. This is how you start off the most important month of your season. The reason I say it's a wrap because at this point, I think this is who the Eagles are. They are a team that can't get it together.
Can they beat Dallas at home? Yes. Can they beat the
They can do
Redskins
it.
twice and the right
4
Giants
division
twice?
games.
I don't know if they can. I look
think
at
so, man.
Giants, the Redskins, they're terrible. Can that Eagles team beat them? I don't
Okay.
know. That's not a given.
How are we feeling about the Bears then? Pull up that picture. They're in the right column. They're in the same sort of situation. They've scraped together wins over the Giants and the Lions. That's not enough to get me to believe that they can make it happen. They've got to take on the Cowboys on Thursday Night Football. Packers, Chiefs, and Vikings.
They would need an all-time
Where are we
collapse
at
from
with
the
the Bears?
Vikings. They would need the Vikings.
Last night was big for them.
The Rams are helped by the Vikings.
The Rams could
collapse.
help with that, yeah.
Peter, deep down in your soul, do you not know the Vikings are capable of such a collapse? Look,
I think
tell me they're not.
that might be the story of December in the NFC here. If
It-
Mike Zimmer and Kirk Cousins can't get this one done,
But-
at this point,
To that point, though, Schrags, and Kyle, Kay, we've all been around this game long enough. Those 6 teams, one of those teams will have an epic collapse. It's just unrealistic to think they're all going to be peaking in and of course, there's a conflict of interest when it comes to the schedule makers. So I feel like one of those teams, as far as collapse, one of these teams are going to go in the opposite direction while everybody else is ascending.
So you think the Bears have a chance?
Yeah, if you're on the outside looking, if you're the Rams,
Yeah.
if you're the Bears, yes, you have a chance.
Rams
That's
definitely.
what you bank on.
Rams definitely.
Like, they got a little going. I don't think the Vikings have a collapse in them. Look, let's see how Dalvin Cook is feeling today. He left the game. I don't think they have it.
just
I
like you
think
come
they're too
off of
good.
that
I don't.
Ravens win over the Niners and
can't.
feel like okay about the as bad as the special teams were last night, and as much as they couldn't get it done, couldn't stop Rashad Penny and Carson.
They're right there.
They were right there in Seattle.
They're right there.
It's hard for me to come up this morning and be like, here we go. And yet that here we go factor always exists with
It
that
might
quarterback.
not be a collapse in their play, but it also could be a collapse in confidence. If they get the news that Dalvin Cook isn't going to be ready for 3 weeks and Adam Thielen still isn't feeling well, as a team, you're like, golly, everybody else is getting healthy, and we're sitting there with our superstars on the sideline. Oh, and not to mention, Xavier Rhodes looks like a shell of himself. Like, it might not be a collapse in game plan or execution by Kirk Cousins. It could be one of those moments where they're like, we just don't have all the horses we need to finish the race.
You know what else is interesting? The AFC playoff picture. We'll break that one. It might be more interesting and dicey and a lot more questions surrounding that one. We'll break it down a little bit later in the show. But back to the NFC East, Eagles and Cowboys. Asking you guys about this one. How excited are we? Who has what it takes? We've got a former Cowboy and an Eagle to break it all down. Orlando Sandrick joining us in studio. And will the Patriots offense actually rebound? What do the numbers say?